And welcome back to Otakon no Video. As always, thank you very much for joining me. Here today with a sort of post-con wrap-up on Otakon 2010. Now, I'm recording this Sunday morning. I went to the con, and I was there from Thursday night through Saturday afternoon. I'll explain why I left early in a little bit. Starting off with the good stuff. Now, I've evolved to the point where at conventions, I now go mostly to the panels. And that's because you can go to the video rooms, but frankly, most of the stuff being shown is available online in some form, illicit or not. So to me, it's not that exciting to go, I'm going to sit down and watch Magic Knight's Ray Earth. That's been out for a long time. I could have watched it by this point anyway. The dealer's room was actually smaller than it usually was. And the scuttlebutt around the convention is that that's because the dealers feel, why haul huge amounts of stuff to a convention, sell half of it, haul the rest of it back, when you can buy all the stuff online anyway? So it seemed like the stuff at the dealer's room was more things like model kits, wall scrolls, posters, costumes, things that look more awesome in real life than a static screenshot on a website typically can make them look. And fewer, huge tables of DVDs. There were some of those there, but not a lot. So that was kind of the difference in the change there. Now, so you can do the dealer's room, do that. You can do the voice actor Q&As, but they're typically answering the same questions that they've been answering for a long time. And you can see those videos on YouTube anyway. You can go to the masquerade, that's fun, stuff like that. But for me, the panels are the things that I can't see anywhere else. So the panels I saw were mostly awesome. My favorite, I think, was the panel on Tamanna, which is an animation block that Fuji TV started a couple of years ago as a direct reaction against the fact that most anime is targeted at teenage boys. So they're trying to target the josei market, the older teenager to young adult female audience. And that's the block that premiered things like Antique Bakery, Nodam Cantabile, Moyashiman, other things like that are not your typical anime, which is very cool. And he talked about why that experiment has worked. He showed the ratings for every single one of the anime in this block. He went through the anime, talked about them. Eden of the East was also one of the anime in that block. And just talking about that and some of the other experiments that have or hadn't failed, comparing that to, say, Toonami and sort of the similarities and differences. Very, very informative panel, excellently run, thumbs up. There was a panel on anime and academia, and how academia is talking about anime and manga. What's the state of that right now? What are folks talking about? If one wants to sort of get published, where to get started, things like that. Very interesting and well run. Lots of the panelists talking a lot. There were 4 folks on the panel talking about what they were doing and just sort of what it's like. Kept on moving at a good clip. Lots of information. Excellent, excellent stuff. There was actually a panel on role playing and sort of troubleshooting role-playing games, how to write role-playing supplements, things like that, which was fun. And just in general, that was the kind of feel for the panels. The problems with the con, main problem for me was the schedule and the list of panels and so forth, because the list of panels was not alphabetized in the sense that whoever put it together listed the panels alphabetized according to what they thought was the most important word in the panel title. So, a complete guide to Evangelion, I can't remember the name of the titles, but, might be under A, might be under C for complete, G for guide, or E for Evangelion. You never really knew. So you just had to sort of go through and it would be, and just, I couldn't quite tell where anything would be fit. So you go back to say, oh, there must be this panel on this. You have to sort of scroll through the entire list and flip through this book to try to find it because you never knew whether it would be under C, G, E, whatever. Worse, the schedule, which is actually dates and times, shortened them according to words that weren't necessarily matching to what was in the list. So you would see, Evangelion, which might be a complete guide to Evangelion, which would be under G. So there was a lot of that going on with the schedule and the panels. It was really difficult to find out what was what and what was where. And worse, there were a lot of cancellations and a lot of changes. By mid-Saturday, at all the panel rooms that I looked at, they had the boards next to the panels. There were at least 2 cancellations or changes on every single one. And there were several panels I wanted to go to. I went to the room, and there printed on the panel board, that panel had been scratched out. It's not here anymore. That just been canceled. And no, now in panel room 3, no, it just marked off. I guess it was canceled. I don't know. I've been to quite a few cons now. This is the only con that happens in. Okay, in smaller cons, of course, there's less going on, so that's fine. But in like Anime Expo, which is at least this big, that didn't happen. Everything happens on time. And Otakon has always been the con that's by fans for fans, and this is nothing against the folks running Otakon. I think that they're all doing their best. But I think, frankly, it's grown beyond that. I think now you need to hire people whose daytime job is about making sure this runs smoothly. And, that's important. As fun as fans are, that's just really, really significant. So that was unfortunate. I really had a sour experience at the con because of that. I didn't like it. Then the other big problem was that some knucklehead decided to pull a fire alarm at 2 p.m. on Saturday, which required, of course, the entire convention center to be emptied. So everyone had to leave the convention center. Probably some 4chan douche. And so 27,000 otaku now emptied onto the streets of Baltimore. And you couldn't just go right out onto the street because there were another 20,000 otaku behind you. So we had to all spread out and fan out everywhere. I waited for a good hour, at least from when I first heard the fire alarm, and they still weren't letting anyone in. Of course, the fire truck showed up, all that kind of stuff. And so we were sitting there waiting, and so of course that changes how all the panels went. Ugh. And again, that's not the Otakon folks' fault. That was some idiot from 4chan that thought, wouldn't it be funny if everyone had to leave the convention center right now? Click. That was bad. That was a problem. But that combined with everything else, this was really unpleasant. And for this con, I was kind of planning and thinking about, well, maybe I'll just go up for my panel, do it and leave. There were some other things going on, so that made it fun. But frankly, at this point, I really don't want to go to a full Otakon anymore. It's just, there's so much rescheduling of things that even if I see things that I want to see, I no longer have confidence that they'll actually happen. Really. That's happened enough to me so far that I've really lost confidence in the con, to be frank, which is unfortunate. Now, final thing is, yes, I did host a panel at Otakon. Really awesome. Thanks to all of you who did show up. It was great, standing room only, a lot of reactions from the audience. Had a lot of fun. I think it was very informative. And I was not able to record the panel just because of how it was set up and so forth, and I was moving around a lot. I am planning on either recording my own version, or I saw a few folks recording it with camcorders. If one of you would please contact me, and I'll give contact information at the end of this video. I would love to post this on YouTube. I can do that. I checked with Otakon. They're fine with that. So I'd love to post that up here. If not, I'm going to try to assemble a video of that using my slides and so forth and go back and forth and re-record it basically. That's going to take a while to assemble though, so don't expect it any time within the next week or two or anything. But I'll do my best. So that was my Otakon experience, all told. And like I said, there was good parts, but bad parts, which I guess is life. So for more information on this, particularly the licenses and so forth, go to my blog, otakunovideo.net. Email me, especially if you have a recording of the panel, at brent@otakunovideo.net, or send me a tweet on Twitter at otakunovideo. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.